Good stuff.
Hello, and welcome to episode 224 of No Load Time. My name is Robert Velez, and with me is the most interesting man in the world, Joel Young.
Good to be with you, sir. How are you doing?
I am doing fantastic, sir. It's good to be here. It's been a busy week for us, but we're here and not too much happening, so we'll see how this goes. Although we do have, some pretty interesting stuff to talk about. But how are you, man?
I'm doing great. I mean, like you mentioned, we both have been busy people as of late. We were able to actually catch up with each other the other
Yeah,
day and
yeah,
in,
it's
in
good.
person. It's
Finally,
always good to see my friend. I know people listening to this maybe be like, "What are you talking about? You guys see each other every week on the podcast." It's not,
it's not the same.
Oben and I go way back. It's not the same. We love to get our FaceTime and have some good breaking up bread together.
partaking, partaking
Right.
of the companionship, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no, yeah. Like I said, not too much happening out there. It's interesting. It's a very interesting week because
Yeah.
there's, I guess, sort of an update to some stuff that we talk about. Of course, there's a new episode of Moon Knight. We'll talk about that. Nothing too crazy on my end, Joe. I went ahead on Saturday and grabbed Kirby for
Oh, cool.
Kirby and the Forgotten Land, and so story time for Kirby. We My daughter wanted it, right? And it's like, okay, so I mean, you're doing good in school, you're behaving good. All right, let's go to Target and let's go get Kirby, right? We go to Target, bro. Sold out, like no
Wow.
Kirby's. Like completely gone. And she was like, okay, I'll look on the other side. And they had the other one, the what's it, All Stars, like Kirby All Stars or something like that, but not the new one. And she's like, oh, they had the old one, but not the new one. So I go to the back, right, where they have the clearance, bro, and they have Kirby amiibos in clearance
Oh,
for
that's worth stuff,
for
dude.
like $6, dude.
I'm
And I
I'm
was like,
surprised.
yeah,
Someone messed up on inventory.
I probably. So I grabbed one, of course, and I was like, okay, we don't have the game, but grab the amiibo. I'll get you the amiibo too. I don't care. It's fine. She's like, okay. So I go on my phone and check out GameStop, and the local GameStop sold out of Kirby's. I was like, okay, interesting. And check on Best Buy. Best Buy has some. Okay, let's go to Best Buy and we'll go get Kirby. So go to Best Buy. They have a couple of Kirby racks empty, and the Switch section like almost empty. Right, most of the stuff they had was the 1999 games, which is fine. Like there's definitely really good stuff that you can find at Best Buy for $20 for the Switch. Like they had the Street Fighter collection and some of the other older Switch stuff that's still good, but no Kirby's, right? So we're walking around and she's getting desperate. My wife finds someone and asks, and she's like, "Oh, they're keeping all the Kirby stuff, like all the games are up front. Like you have to ask for it at the register." I was like, "Oh, okay, makes sense." I know that Best Buy, at least in our area, from what I know and talking to Best Buy employees a few times that I've been, there's a really bad shoplifting problem when it comes to Switch games, especially because the cases are thin, they're easy to pocket.
Yeah.
So a lot of the newer stuff it's kept like behind the register. So I go there, make the line. There's like a couple of people in line. I was like, "Hey, you got the new Kirby?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah. I mean, look for one. Look it up, Kirby." All right, Kirby is good, man. It's really good. It's
I
really
expected it to be great. I mean,
yeah.
you and I were talking about the open world stuff and kind of a
So
precursor of what they might be doing with Mario, right?
so it's deceiving because it's not open world.
Really?
Yep, it's kind of like Mario Odyssey,
Hmm.
where you have a where you have a well, it's similar to Mario Odyssey, but it still follows sort of like a traditional structure where you have a an area and you have different levels in that area, right? So it still follows that sort of structure, but the levels are pretty big. You have a lot of hidden stuff. The power ups are everywhere because you can eat everything basically. And dude, the car stuff that they that it's so funny, and it's like front and center. Like that, you do a few things, and then the first thing you get into, man, is the car, and they have cutscenes and everything for the car. So the car's like
Oh, that's cool.
it's like a big mechanic in the game. And yeah, so played a couple hours. I think I played like 2 hours with my daughter. Like she was playing and I was helping, right? But and I think she played a couple hours by herself. She beat like the first boss and got a couple of like hidden levels. But yeah, man, it's good. It looks really nice, which is to be expected of a first party Switch title. But it runs okay. Like it's like a solid 30. So it's not. I mean, it doesn't run like Mario Odyssey. Like Mario Odyssey runs at 60, and it's like awesome, right? There's a little bit more going on in this one, and I think it's because the power ups and some of the other stuff. So it runs well. So for a Switch game, of course already we already predicted what's going to happen with the Switch next year when Zelda comes out. So that's a story for a different day. But yeah, Kirby's pretty awesome actually. It's pretty good. So
That's awesome.
like if you're looking for a game that's chill, not too hard, because the game's not too hard. So it's weird though because it has an easy mode and then it has hard. It doesn't have a normal mode. So it's like easy and hard when
Wow.
you start. Yeah. But it's pretty chill. It's not Dark Souls, so you'll be okay. You even playing it in hard, so you'll be fine. But yeah, I mean, other than that, we had a gigantic, no pun intended, bait and switch on Attack on Titan because we've been all waiting for the ending, right? And it's like, oh my gosh, it's the final season, and here we go. There's only like one episode left. What's gonna happen? And what happened is that the studio came out Sunday when the episode dropped and said, "Hey guys, last final season part 3 coming out 2023." Great. And after the disappointment, I watched the final episode of part 2. Now I gotta say it like that, right? Um, and it was very good. Flashbacks. They explained a lot of the stuff that wasn't explained up until now. That was a little bit confusing, right? So it was more of like a housekeeping episode. It was like, yeah, there's a couple of loose ends that we kind of need to explain to people, and that's basically what they did in this episode. It was good. It was really good. Um, but but it was kind of disappointing. I was like, everyone's looking forward to the end, and now we gotta wait until next year. So I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how I feel. They really baited everyone with that, and like I saw a lot of people were upset because it's like you're calling it the final season and you're splitting in parts. It's like don't call it the final season. Just keep doing seasons, right? And yeah. So I guess whatever happened. And there's rumors, right? There's rumors that so there's other rumors that they're gonna do the 12 episodes and then they're not gonna end it and they're gonna do a movie and the movie is gonna be the end. So kind of like
Hmm.
what like Demon Slayer did for season 2, where season 1 happened, ended on sort of a cliffhanger, right? When season 1 ended, and then season 2 is basically a movie that came out in the movie theaters in Japan, and it did better than Frozen 2 and all that stuff that happened, right? And then when the movie came out, I guess the movie was split into episodes for TV, and it made about a half a season. So
Hmm.
man, this anime is wild, dude. It's good. Like I said it. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Like Attack on Titan. Even if you don't like anime, it's just a solid show. It's very very good. So you know it's out there, and I guess we gotta wait until next year. We do get JoJo back in October, I think. So like the second half of the newest part. So
Still
yeah,
months away.
yeah, it's still still a while away, but they give us half a season right up front. We didn't have to wait for a weekly, so I'm good. I can wait. I can wait it out.
That's
So
pretty good, man. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, on my side, nothing too crazy. First thing off the top, I was mentioning to you, you saw the stuff online about it, but Halo. I'm actually at episode 3 right now on this series, and I mentioned it before. I say I say it again. I know enough about Halo to carry a very casual conversation, but I am. You start talking lore, and I am not as deeply versed as most fans are, right? So I want to be clear about that,
yeah,
before I am. So because of that, I see the stuff online where people are saying like, oh, like they changed everything and this is supposed to be like this and that's supposed to be like that, specifically the origin story. I'm not going to spoil it for anyone who's trying to watch it, but there's some things they've done with the origin of Master Chief, and that supposedly
the
is
origin.
much different.
But we saw the origin of Master Cheeks, dude.
I was like, so this show is rated TV 14, dude. I'm like, I don't think a 14-year-old's gonna be watching this, man. Some of the stuff they do in this show, man. I don't know. I don't know. But no, man. I mean, like, here's the thing. I'm actually enjoying it. I have to be honest with
That's
you.
good.
Like, I mean, clearly I'm at the third episode. You know my rule, right? 3 episodes, and if after 3 episodes it's no good, there's no point in sticking around. But here I am, third episode in. I enjoy it. It's not the best show, but it's pretty good. Like you have to get through, I think, the first few minutes of the very first episode,
Okay.
and then it starts to pick up pretty good. I think last week's episode was a little weird, a little slowed down a bit the pace,
Yeah,
but
that's
then
what I
this
heard.
one built it back up again.
Okay, I did hear
Yeah,
that about episode 2 that a lot of people were complaining and saying, "Oh, bait and switch." They were already claiming because everyone cries bait
yeah.
and switch when it comes to new shows, like what they did with Masters of the Universe Revelation, and some other shows like Boba Fett, and you know, but
Yeah, yeah. No, totally. I mean, again, I feel bad because I'm like what I may like it, but there's someone else who's more of a fan of the franchise. Like I have no right to tell anybody, for that matter, what they should or shouldn't like. But even more so, if you're a fan who's been maybe playing, these Halo games, very well versed in it. Like if you don't like it, I'm not gonna say you're wrong for it. And clearly, if it's appealing to me, who's not as well versed in the lore, and I'm actually still being entertained, there's positives, but there's negatives behind that because you don't want to lose the fan base behind. I have seen fans that do like it though. I have seen people that are more into this that do think it's still good. But yeah, I would say if you're somebody who has Paramount Plus and you're looking for something to watch, it's worth a shot because it's not terrible. It's okay. In other news, Obed, you were with me as I told you a bit of the story of how I
yeah,
suffered throughout the day trying to get these Doctor Strange
that
Multiverse of
was
Madness
that was
tickets.
crazy, man. Because we were having lunch, and you kept refreshing, and
Nothing.
it's no go, bro. Yeah,
Yeah, and so from 9 a.m. yesterday, this is Wednesday, right? April 6th, they dropped the tickets at 9 a.m. Eastern, and um from I want to say 9:05, I had pulled out my app. So let me just go ahead and see. And of course, everything was crashing. So I said, all right, take care of some business on another break that I had, maybe an hour or so later, pull out the phone, just take a couple seconds just to see, same thing, and just carried on throughout the day. I mean, it was only until you, Obed, you were there. You heard it was like I want to say it was around 5 p.m. I
it was
think it
pretty
was.
late. Yeah,
It was pretty late in the day, and I'm like, here it is. I finally could get. By the time I could get tickets, of course, the seats and the stuff that I wanted were gone, of course, which was crazy because I kept seeing the seats flicker as if they were reserved, and then I would refresh again, and then it was as if those seats were open. So clearly, every person who was trying was having the same problems. Now, I'm not trying to badmouth or specify specific companies, but I use AMC, right? I'm an AMC guy. I have that A-list subscription, so that's worth it for someone like me to utilize it for this kind of a movie. And like I guess a lot of the things I saw online was just in general websites were bad, but AMC was really going through it. I think that was probably the worst one. It seemed like on Twitter, people just kept saying the same thing, like you all have the same problem with AMC, same problem with AMC. Now, when I was talking with you, obviously I'm frustrated because I was, as a consumer, I'm like, just take my money. I want to see this movie, right? But they've had these experiences before, right? I mean, we've lived through some very huge blockbuster films being released and having these problems over and over.
Yeah, they didn't have
Obviously,
this
the most
problem
recent
for
one.
they didn't have this problem for Eternals, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I gotta be careful there. But I will say, Spider-Man: No Way Home, right? Crashing the servers. But
Yeah.
I would argue the one positive of it, Obid, was that with Spider-Man, they dropped that thing in the middle of the night. So it was like 10 o'clock at night, I want to say, or something along those lines. So yeah, it wasn't until like 1, 2 a.m. that I got my tickets reserved, but I had a fighting shot and I actually got good seats for the kind of showing that I wanted. This thing, I mean, you're talking from 9 to 5. That's a lot of hours
Hmm.
in the middle of the day. And it progressively got worse. So it was extremely frustrating. But thankfully I got the tickets. I shared with you, Obed, a story of how they are saying that it did make a record for its first 24 hours, for its pre-sale.
Yeah.
So far, it's more than any other 2022 film. That's obvious, right? Like, I mean, no offense to Batman, but this movie is gonna probably double what Batman made
Oh,
in theaters. And
yeah,
I'm not trying to
yeah.
be like, discrediting the movie because I like it, right? And that's what's so crazy to me, Ob, is that we live in a world where a movie with a character named Batman, the movie's literally titled The Batman, will make less money than a movie with Doctor Strange. Like if you would have told me this 15 years
I
ago, Obed, I would
know,
have said
bro.
you're kidding. Like there's no way.
Here's the
How we get here, it's amazing what Marvel's done.
here's the thing, right? Because Doctor Strange by himself, and we saw it with the first movie, right? Um, but now you have a whole new audience involved with Wanda after WandaVision, dude.
Right.
Like
Right.
WandaVision, really, the reason that why this movie is doing so well in the pre-sale is because of WandaVision. Like people are invested in what happened in WandaVision, and they want to see. Like, I don't know if you saw that the last trailer clip that came out with the kids.
I saw the clip,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, man. Like,
The Wanda fans, right? The Wanda stuff, and then of course you've got the remnants of No Way Home,
there's no
right?
way home. Yeah,
You destroyed,
yeah.
the sacred multiverse by changing the events of time itself and
Yeah.
reality. Um,
So
I will
you're
say
really
though, think
combining.
about it, Obed.
Hmm?
WandaVision was successful, but even that show should not have been as successful as it was because
No,
no
honestly,
offense,
no,
but no one really cared about Wanda and Vision in like Age of Ultron, all this
no,
stuff.
bro.
It shows you that Marvel's so good at progressing characters. You may at
Yes.
first write them off, right? But they're so good at making you out over time be like, oh, I actually really am invested in this.
Yeah,
No one should have cared
because
about a robot and a witch getting
I
together,
know.
but here we are,
Yeah, I mean,
you know?
we were already invested in Hawkeye,
Yeah.
but the show really like elevated like his character progression was so good. Man, I mean, it's funny because like looking back, right? The series that I was more excited about was the Falcon Winter Soldier, and
Mhm.
that to me right now it's probably like the bottom one,
Yeah,
honestly.
lower. Yeah.
Because I'm not saying
Loki, I
I'm
think is really
oh
good,
Loki
dude.
was
Yeah.
phenomenal, bro.
Whew.
Um, and I think it's because in I was talking to someone at work about this, right? Because he felt the same way. I was like, oh man, I was like really excited for this, and that it was just okay. It wasn't, it wasn't that good. I was like, yeah, I mean, he had the problem with Falcon Winter Soldier is that they had to chop it and they had to rewrite a lot of stuff because there was a whole pandemic bioweapon arc there that had to be taken out.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and he's like, oh, really? It's like, yeah, man. So I was like, oh, that makes
Oh,
sense. That's
you
why.
could see it when it
Yeah,
switches.
yeah. It did. And I was like, yeah, that's why it feels like disjointed and like some things don't make sense. So, as an establishing thing for the new Captain America, it was kind of disappointing, but it was because of you know there were other problems. Not I don't want to say there were problems with the production itself, but they had to make adjustments. Um, uh, I guess we can soft transition into Moon Knight, but I just want to you know back when Doctor Strange came out, when the first one came out, right? Only like MCU hardcore fans and Doctor Strange fans cared. No one else cared. Put Doctor Strange in Infinity War slash Endgame and then into Spider Man. A lot more people care about Doctor Strange, but now you're getting the WandaVision people and bringing in the the excuse me the Spider Man trail end of like what's gonna happen next because
It's
everyone saw
Sam
Spider Man.
Raimi,
So
bro. It's Sam Raimi. Like
yeah,
if he's gonna put any
well,
Spider-Man
see,
stuff, it would be him.
you and me get the importance of Sam Raimi, right? But like a casual's not gonna. It's like, oh, it's
No,
like,
no,
well, you
no,
can
not at
tell that
all.
the casual is like, well, it's the same director that did the original Spider-Man movies, and they're gonna go, oh, okay, so that's cool. But they don't get like we get Sam Raimi, right?
Right, right,
We
right,
know
right, right, right.
we know what's up.
We
And
know what's up.
I don't know if you saw the comments today, right? They asked him, I was like, hey, what if you make
Yeah,
Spidey 4 with Toby? And it's like, oh, that would be like beautiful or something
he
like that.
wants to do
And
it,
he
which
wants
I'm
to do
like,
it, and it's probably gonna happen. It's probably gonna happen.
I mean,
So
especially after Morbius, I think
yeah,
Sony might say,
you
well,
didn't watch it, right? You didn't watch.
oh no, 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 sir.
Wow, Joe.
That's like pulling teeth, man.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
That's pain. It'll
Yeah.
be painful for me.
But soft transitioning into Moon Knight, bro. How is this show so good?
It's good. It's good.
How is this show so good, man? Um, like I don't want I don't and they're not gonna right. Like Steven's gonna come back. Spoilers,
Yeah.
spoilers. Just be warned for the
Yep.
next I don't know 10 minutes, 5, 8, 7 minutes. I don't know. And but the oh dude, I just I can't believe I like this show as much as I like it because it's so good. It's so good. But we're probably gonna see Steven again. He's probably gonna be in the sidelines for a little bit now because we gotta get the show on the road literally, right? So with the ending, the ending tells you where they're going. Um, but I really like the whole like evil is a point of view kind of thing that the whole Sith thing that what's the name it's not Anderson but Ethan Hawke's character, I forgot his name. um yeah, man, it's really good. It's really good. I'm really enjoying it. The acting is great, even the CG, right? I think the CG on his cape is probably the weakest part of the CG for some reason. It looks funky, but the rest of the CG on the show looks really good. I have no complaints, bro. 7 out of 10 according to IGN.com. So for this episode. So, I'm gonna keep bringing them up, dude. After WandaVision, after they did to Loki and bro, I think what,
Boba Fett.
especially Loki, yeah, and Boba Fett, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll keep bringing IGN.com when it comes to Disney Plus stuff.
They're hard. They're hard on Disney. Come on,
I
guys.
know, yeah. They're like you would think, right? It's like the opposite of GameSpot. GameSpot is usually really hard on games. Like everyone's like 10 out of 10 masterpiece, 9.5 out of 10, and here comes GameSpot 7.5. What are you doing? And so they're kind of like IGN's like that with the Disney Plus shows. But yeah, I mean, so far so good for me. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm on board. What keeps me coming back to this show is the Marvel feel. I don't know how else to describe it, but like it's very consistent with the Marvel brand because and when I say the brand, I'm talking more like the MCU brand is what I should be saying because it has the perfect balance of drama and humor
It
and
does.
you don't get as much action in the show so far. I think we're building up this character, which is fine. And when you do get action scenes, they're really cool. Obviously the end of this episode, it gives you a really awesome sequence, right? When he finally says, give me the body, right? Like that's when you get that switch. You're like, oh yeah, here we go. Moon Knight's in. He's jumping, and there's the moon in the background with this perfect, artistic, shot that you get, right? And what a violent death for that jackal.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Disney Plus,
Fatality.
that's dude just
Yeah.
gets right pierced right through. But no, I mean, I will say it's still not the best of what Disney Plus has put out, but Moon Knight has no business being as good as it is, and it is really good. And I don't say that in the sense that like it should be bad because it's the bad character. I seen it because it's like we had these conversations about these C tier, these lower tier characters. Like Moon Knight's not a character that most people would expect to bring this type of interest, right? But it is. Now, it doesn't seem to be catching on with casual audiences the way the other ones do.
Mm.
I'm curious to see if the WandaVision effect will come in. Now, again, Wanda and Vision, we had seen before, right? We had seen
This is
them in
yeah,
other movies. This
exactly.
is a completely
So
new.
because this is the first
Now,
one, the first Marvel show that's like offset completely out of the whole
exactly,
Avengers arc. This is the first one, yeah.
exactly.
So
Exactly. Usually what they would do in a situation like this is they would say, let's have a cameo, right? To kind of pull people in a little
that's what
bit.
I was gonna say.
We have
Yeah,
not
we have
had
not
we
had a
have not
cameo.
had that,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think one is coming. I
Oh yeah,
think I don't they're not teasing it, and I'm glad they're not teasing anything.
Apocalypse. He played Apocalypse too, so
God, please don't let it be that apocalypse.
it's gonna come full circle,
Oh
Joe.
no, that one I'm okay
It's
with leaving
Oscar
out.
Isaac.
We we
I
can
should
forget
say,
that
yeah.
one.
I'm
That
gonna
was
use
probably
the.
one of his worst Marvel
Oh
performances.
yeah, yeah. I don't think it was his
Ooh,
fault though.
he was
Um,
monologuing. It was not a good time.
I don't think it was his fault. He was good. He's good.
No, he's fine.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna just go back to last week's title. Was congratulations, you played yourself as like Moon Knight versus Apocalypse, and he's Apocalypse too. So
but he's also playing Mark. But he's also playing Steven, but he's also playing
right,
like three
yeah.
versions of himself.
The
um,
multiverse, man. I don't know.
no, well, he's clearly proven he can do a good job of switching, roles. I love that. But I think that's something that could help this show get more mainstream. Is like if they have a really good tie-in, which is coming. That's just the way Marvel does things, right? They're not gonna make the show live on its own and then cut it out. Like you watch Eternals, right? Spoilers, but like you have minimal connections. They name drop the Avengers, but then you get that really cool scene at the end, right? Where it's like, Blade is coming. Like, oh, okay,
Mm.
okay, okay, right? Like you have to have something like this here, right? Where it's like you have to either name drop or connect. He's not even mentioned the Avengers one time. You would think as a guy like him would be like, am I like the Avengers? Or you like nothing?
He mentioned
So
Avatar on the first episode.
you mentioned Avatar, right? Disney properties.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I'm very curious to see what that goes. Now we had talked beforehand. I got to show you the picture of the Doctor Doom potential, right?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Speculation.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's interesting. It's worth mentioning. Because what could be coming could be a shock to us all. I mean, no one saw King the Conqueror showing up in Loki. I didn't see it coming until like we were in the middle of the show, and then I was like, oh snap, they're leading to this guy. But
Mm.
beforehand, I didn't see that coming. Maybe something like that happens here. Lots of speculations around Moon Knight. I'm hopeful that next episode, like you mentioned, they're gonna have to really get the show rolling, literally, because now the body's been given over, and you're in Egypt. So let's see what happens.
It's Apocalypse. But it's not gonna be his Apocalypse. It's gonna be proper. No, no, it's too big. That's probably gonna be like the next big Marvel event, like big baddie event. It has to be either him or Doom, right? I mean, at this point.
Yeah, I'd probably say Doom is a better bet.
Yeah,
Doom, Galactus.
I don't think Galactus is gonna happen yet. I think
Yeah.
Galactus is probably gonna happen with the like the next like you know what we're done with the MCU forever and we're gonna do
I
that.
would rather have a Tuma next, to be honest with you, than a Waterman, basically.
Waterman.
Oh,
Uh, but it was good. It was good. I like how the suit is a reflection of his I guess mental state
yeah.
um or his I guess his personality gets reflected in the suit basically, and that was pretty interesting. Yeah, I liked it, man. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it keeps surprising me for sure. So I'm pretty excited to keep watching it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
Next week, episode 3, we'll find out.
yeah, yeah. It's gonna be cool. Um, like I mentioned, we not a lot of topics for this week, but we do want to I guess update everyone with what's going on with Ezra Miller, and we talked about it last week, and we said we are gonna update. Here's the update. Well, emergency meetings happen, Joel. I guess, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but based on the info that I've read today, is that he has his projects have been put on pause. What I guess whatever Flash is done, right? They're done filming, so that's coming out next year or whenever they decide to finally release it.
Whenever the movie comes
Whenever
out.
the movie comes out, right? Because DC, I don't know, bro. I don't know what's going on.
Imagine they cancel it, dude. And everything I've ever said about this, there's no
Freaking
Flash
Michael
movie ever.
Keaton, you got Michael Keaton in, and you're gonna cancel it? Nah, bro.
I know.
Look there's
It's
more
coming. I'm just
like honestly, I can see this movie getting reshot, like with
Grant
his
Gustin.
scenes getting reshot with a different actor, than the movie getting canceled because you already got two Batmans in it. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. That's the latest that I've heard is that the future projects, not counting the Flash or whatever the movie is going to be called, are on pause. So, yeah.
So interesting. There's actually been an update since that, right? So
Okay.
the Rolling Stones were the ones that put out the original piece saying about this emergency meeting, and they even went to fact as far as to say that they had sources saying on set for the Flash, he was problematic and had constant meltdowns. When they said he had meltdowns, they went as far as to say that his meltdowns were not violent or shouting was the way they specified it. You can read again this in the Rolling Stones article, but they did say that he would have a thought and then he would just completely lose his mind and not want to continue filming or doing anything, whatever
Mm,
that means, however you want to interpret that. Clearly, he's got some personal issues there, and then you see what all the stories about what we talked about last week about what he did right in Hawaii and has a restraining order still, and it's pretty wild. Now, the update that came today was, I believe it's a source from IGN, right? Our friends over at IGN. They they decided to say their source saying actually rebuked this story and said that there was no such meeting at all that happened.
ah,
This is not true. That there's been no decisions being made, nothing. Now, just because that source says it, here's the thing: the person who broke the story on Rolling Stones, is important to understand that she is a writer. She was a writer for the Hollywood Reporter, and she's the person who originally broke the story about producer Scott Ridden's abusive behavior and when Warner Brothers was going to sever ties with Johnny Depp. So she has a very credible track record of
yeah,
things going on inside the House of Warner Brothers. And so if she's saying that she's got a source in the House of Warner Brothers telling you their emergency meeting happened, I would not take it lightly. I feel
yeah,
like that was damage control. Okay. We saw what happened with the Ray Fisher stuff, right? I'm, I'm not trying to sound like one of those crazy fake news people or one of those conspiracy. I'm not trying to go. I want to be clear about that, right? But I'm sorry, Obed. We understand the way these things work. These companies do work with the media sometimes to put out pieces to help change the public perspective, right? They try to put up specific, whether it's through a statement or through having good relationships with reporters, trying to have a good PR team to really cover their image, right? It's not trying to be conspiracy theory. I'm just saying it's not unheard of for a company to purposely work with a news station, right? And so, and with the whole Ray Fisher thing that even happened with us and all that stuff, I mentioned you before. Certain art people told us, "Hey, this is a really good story, but we're not going to cover it." You look up what stories they did about Ray beforehand, and you can put things together, right? So I'm again not trying to be conspiracy, but like we kind of know what we're talking about here at No Load Time, right? And so what I'm saying is I 100% believe this emergency meeting happened, and I 100% believe that any project associated with him has been put on hold because whether that's Flash, whether that's the I was gonna say Lord of the Rings, not definitely not that Harry Potter, that he's in, right? He's in the Harry Potter movies. Like I totally believe that all those projects, anything he's been associated with, has been put on pause or really just suspended. Um, it's DC. No offense, they've not shown us really signs of having a plan anyways. So why stick to this one? This is
Yeah.
probably one movie that tried to reset things. Now I don't know if you heard the same thing, Obed, but there was a lot of people who supposedly at the early screenings that they were showing internally all said that they liked the movie, but that it was a very serious reset of everything that happened. I don't know if you've seen those stories going around. People said that for sure Superman is Henry Cavill Superman no longer is going to be around. There were some
Yeah, there's
rumors going
I
around
heard
saying
that,
that
yeah.
in the first few minutes of the movie, he completely undoes everything that's happened in other movies. He warns Diana about what's coming on with these soldiers coming through, right? He warns Cavill about Zod. He warns different he's someone who resets the timeline because he's running through back in other moments of movies. That's the rumor, right? Take with a grain of salt. um I've joked before and I'll keep saying it, like, of all the people that they recast, why not this guy? Like, I'm sorry, all the other people you recast, there's no stories of Henry Cavill choking a woman on 4K. You know what I'm saying? Like,
At
there's
Walmart.
no, won't, there's not,
Yeah.
stories of them, of Ben Affleck charging at somebody in a karaoke bar, a 23-year-old woman, and harassing and people and charging them with darts games and then breaking into somebody's hotel room. Um, the problems other people have are, some of them are allegations that have to be taken serious. I'm not going to downplay that, but this guy's been caught red-handed. I mean, he got arrested. He got put behind bars for a moment, right? He got
Yeah.
bail, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
I don't understand what's going on over there. This should have been an easy decision to say, look, this doesn't represent our company. We're not going to do. I mean, no, dude. Will Smith got caught on camera, and they're trying to cut Bad Boys 4.
yeah.
This
Michael Bay.
dude,
Michael Bay said, I don't care. Like, there's more important things to worry about, right?"
which is good,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But also update on that. I don't know if you saw that he checked himself into like anger management rehab. So
which is good. Good for
yeah, good
him.
for him. Yeah.
Good for him. But I'm just saying, like, this guy has, we all saw what happened, right, with Will, right? With Ezra Miller's been caught on video doing whatever he's doing, stories and whatever, and the guy carries on. But there's, I'm just saying, like, the way people view things and the slippery slope, it's very confusing, very strange. I'm hopeful that the movie's good because look, I thought in the Zack Snyder Justice League, I liked him a lot there, but in
Yeah.
the Whedon one, I hated him, bro. I've been
Yeah.
very clear.
I
I
remember
found him
you telling me that.
annoying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're
The whole
right.
like I just push people and I run, I don't fight, and I need friends. And it was like the posturing of it. You keep some of those scenes, but the script is completely different, and the way he portrays himself is completely different in the Snyder ones. Didn't bother me. I was actually laughing with his jokes. But like you watch the Whedon one or whatever, I just
Oh,
and
everything was really flat, and
I'm
yeah,
hoping he's not cringy like that with like in this other one. I'm hoping that they're not trying to be too goofy Flash. Like I don't want that. Like I don't want him to be the butt joke, of all the DC heroes. His personality can be different. That's fine. He can have a more loosey goosey personality, but don't make him don't make him a goofball like that. That's not right. I'm going on and on, Obed. Any thoughts you got to say about this?
Yeah, no. I guess we'll wait and see now that I guess the Discovery Warner merger takes place this week, right? Like
Yes,
tomorrow, right?
and the CEO of Warner is leaving.
He's gone. Yeah,
She's leaving while Discovery comes in,
yeah.
takes it on, and supposedly now Warner is following Zack Snyder and Ray Fisher again on
That's the thing.
social. So
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing, right? That like they Discovery may come in and start cleaning house, dude, and they
I'd
may
love that.
they may sell WB games because we've talked about it before, right?
Yeah.
Like there may be a good possibility for someone to grab WB games. We'll see, but it's gonna be interesting. I'm not, you know, I don't know. It's all super weird, right? But at the same time, I'm not shocked. So I guess we'll wait and see.
Yeah.
Um, on the gaming side, there's actually a very interesting bit of news that broke yesterday. I guess Remedy and 2K came to an agreement to make a remake of Max Payne 1 and 2. Of course, Max Payne being originally released back in the PS2 and Xbox, right? It came out on the Xbox too, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, so very interesting stuff. Very good games. That first game, it was probably one of the first PS2 games I played back in the day. And like it's one of those games that I played once, right? And for some reason, it just stuck with me. And to this day, like I think about that game, and I think about it, like I still remember playing that game. It was like it's one of those games that they stick with you. And I'm talking about a game that I haven't played in 20 years, but I remember it being very, very good, and the story being. I think that was the first game that I played that the story was like really like adult. It was the one that went, one of the first ones that went like yo, we're dealing with like drug use and kids dying and all that. Like it tackled very heavy subjects, um, you know, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see what this is going to be. This is going to be on PS5 and the Xbox Series consoles, and more than likely PC as well. So, yeah, I don't know if you have anything else to add, but I'm excited for this, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually am really happy about this too, right? Like, there's a lot of games that we've seen have remakes over these last few years. And most of the time they're warranted. Sometimes you get ones that you're like, really that one? This is one of those ones that is nice one to reintroduce to a
Yeah,
generation, and to keep those that have the fond memories of it, have that fresh reimagining. Because like you mentioned, Obed, there's a lot of games that you might have near and dear to your heart. We both are guilty of this. I think all gamers are guilty of this. The nostalgia glasses, right? This is
yeah.
amazing.
I talked about it.
Then
Yeah,
you go and play it, and you're like, ooh, this is really old. Like it doesn't feel the same way. I
yeah,
don't have the same experience that I do now because whatever. Remakes help freshen it up, polish it up, give it that love, that TLC.
yeah.
No, I'm happy about this coming forth.
Yeah, it's like when and again I mentioned it again because it's still fresh on my mind. Wanting to play DMC3, it's like man, it's like static camera, compared to and even the character models can't even compare, dude. It's like incredible. So it's like I see a lot of hate on like, oh, you're remaking a PS2 game. PS2 game still looks pretty good. It's like, have you played a PS2 game recently, bro?
We were talking about PS3 the other episode. Even
Yeah,
those
yeah,
are don't
yeah.
look that good.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, and it's funny that you mentioned that because I kept thinking about that because we were talking about it, right?
Yeah.
And the way I could interpret PS3 graphics, right, and the PS3 capabilities compared to PS2, it's like basically PS3 is PS2 graphics running at a higher resolution with screen tearing and bad frame rate because if you go back right before HD, the graphical total on the console wasn't that big of a deal because they're all running at 480, and you could just run everything at 60 FPS or most everything right, and get away with it, and everything would be good. But then you jump over to HD where this textures take so much memory, and then frame rate starts dipping, and then screen tearing, and you have to worry about all these other things. So yeah, I'm excited to see a remake of like PS2 stuff now coming out with remakes. Makes sense. Like it makes sense to look back.
Yeah.
Like we've talked about the rumored, Metal Gear Solid 3 remake that's in the works. So going to like a Max Payne and doing like proper remakes, not the garbage that Rockstar did
Right.
with the GTA stuff that was absolutely
Right.
atrocious. So like the Lego, right? Like the Lego game is basically a remake of all those PS2 games
Yeah. Yeah.
that we had back in the day.
Uh,
So yeah,
17 years ago.
yeah. Joel, did you actually get your copy or not yet?
No, that was something I forgot to mention in my what's up. Like how you were saying with Kirby, right? You were having trouble finding it.
Yeah.
So with this one, I pre-ordered it beforehand with Amazon. Oh, but just today, I got an update saying that the order has been shipped and will get here on Sunday. I have Amazon Prime,
Wow,
dude.
dude.
I got Prime. I'm used to getting my stuff next day, maybe two days late. I cannot believe that this game's out and it's gonna take that long. I don't mean to sound like a spoiled American. I'll be fine. I'll play it when it
No,
comes into my house. But it's crazy to imagine that long, and it's not even the deluxe version, man.
then you get it on Switch or PlayStation?
Switch,
On
yeah,
Switch. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, because I saw a lot of people getting it on Switch.
yeah.
So,
Like
all
for the
right.
graphics of it, and then like it's one of those games that I can take it on the go with me and just. I still always play my thing docked. Like I never take it off really.
Yeah.
But I like to have that option. I'm not gonna lie. This kind of game reminds me of I used to play all the time with my friends like on the DS, playing like Star Wars and
Yeah.
stuff. So this is one of those games
Uh,
that brings back good memories.
Now I do have a dilemma because there's two games that I really want to buy this year that I don't know if I should get it for PlayStation or get it for Switch because it wouldn't really matter to me because the Switch I can take back and forth from this room to the living room, and then PlayStation I can download it on the PS4 and put it on PS5 over there because I'll buy the PS4 version. But it's the Ninja Turtles Cowabunga collection and Shredder's Revenge. So I'm buying those two. There's no going around it, right? I gotta buy
Yeah.
those games. So, um, so that's the a thing that I was like, oh, do I want one that really nice like Dual Shock, or do I want to be able to have it on handheld mode if that be the case? So like I'm on the fence. I may just end up buying both. I don't know. Like, was like
Wow.
honestly,
Wow.
bro, hey, support the cause. Yeah.
Hey, you
So
know.
we haven't got.
Honestly, I feel that way about the deluxe version of this game. Like sometimes I want to buy the deluxe version on PS5 and then just like
Yeah.
keep my regular one on the Switch. But I don't know.
Yeah.
It's silly, but like you said, it's the nostalgia. Like I
Yeah.
love these. I have such great memories.
Yeah,
Like
man.
I'm seeing all the guys on Twitter just posting all the stuff with this game. I'm like, I gotta get
Yeah.
it. I gotta play it.
The Cowabunga collection doesn't have a date, but it seems like it's pretty soon because it's up for pre-order on everywhere. So
Yeah.
I was thinking of just buying a digital version, but I should go out of my way and try to get a Switch version of that. Honestly,
Nice,
I mean,
nice.
I just bringing it full circle, just putting it back on a Nintendo console. That's probably what's gonna happen, but on the
Yeah.
Switch, and the same thing is probably gonna happen with the other one. So yeah,
Because I'm like 70% through Ratchet and Clank,
okay,
in my limited time to jump on when I do. I'm making good progress there, loving that. And I'm one of those. I'm a completionist, like in that way. I don't like to have playing two different games at the same time, jumping back and forth. So once I'm done with Ratchet and Clank, then I want to move into Horizon. Um,
Yeah, you
but
should.
yeah, I want to move into that so I can play then the new Horizon that's
Yeah,
out now.
you can
But like
probably
on
just mainline, like if you play Zero
yeah,
Dawn, you can probably just mainline it. Don't do any other side quest stuff. It's
just run through the
like,
story.
honestly, as someone that did all the side quests on Horizon Zero Dawn, you can just mainline it and you don't have to worry about gear. The only gear that you should worry about would be the ultimate armor, right?
Mm,
Because it's very very good, because it's worth the effort. But other than that, I'd say just mainline it and do just the story stuff. You can just get around and you
right.
know. Now, one thing though, there's side quest characters that pop up on the new one. It's like, oh, this dude was like a side quest dude on the,
Oh wow.
yeah. They're
Wow.
like,
So they're building all this mythology
they
very well.
yeah, very very well, yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, I had a great time with that game over the weekend. Again,
Well,
it's like,
summer's coming. Like this is gonna be a good time to
yeah,
hopefully play have some catch up, man.
absolutely, yeah. So what we got. We just did a scrub and nothing else happened. So
Yeah, yeah,
short and sweet for this week. You want to
yeah.
go
Hey,
ahead and
look.
take us home?
Yeah, I mean theoretically, Obed, like we could have not done an episode this today, but you
Honestly,
know what? You guys know we are
dedication.
faithful and consistent and dedicated.
Yep.
So you can count on us, and I hope you all were entertained what we had to say today, what we had to talk about. I had a good time, my friend.
Oh yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
but
As always,
but
sir. My pleasure.
as always, always. But I will say, please, everyone, take time and make sure you're subscribed to our show. Go ahead and subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, Spotify, Amazon Music. And we also would ask you to please write a review for our podcast if you would be so kind. That really helps us out and spreads the message more of this podcast to others. Also, you can subscribe to the video version on our YouTube channel, No Load Time on YouTube. Subscribe, like the videos, drop us a comment, share those episodes with your friends and family. Really would appreciate that. We also invite you to follow us on social media at No Load Time. That's at No Load Time, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And if you're watching the video version, you'll see those social handles down below. And then also, we want you to follow us on our Twitch channel, where we also broadcast our episodes as we record them, typically on Thursday evenings. And it's No Load Time altogether on Twitch. Go ahead and give us a follow there. Last but not least, if you have any questions, comments, or feedback, we'd welcome you to send an email to noloadtime@gmail.com. That's noloadtime@gmail.com. And maybe, just maybe, we'll even discuss your question or comment here on the show. Thank you again so much, and we look forward to being with you all on our next episode.
Thank you guys. Stay safe. We'll see you again next time.
Like, just